Welcome to episode 4 of More Than Just Maps. I'm your host, Ollie Powers. This podcast was created with the intent to help anyone in the GIS field get from where they are now to where they want to be that your first job, a career move, or just improving your GIS game overall. On today's episode, I conclude my interview with Brian King, archaeologist turned GIS guru. We'll go over how Brian continues to learn and grow through various outlets, be that teaching at Penn State, running the URISA Texas Speaker Series, or starting the Friesa Nichols drone program from scratch. All right, so we're back with part 2 of my interview with Brian King. So Brian, you do a lot of other things besides URISA Texas and all your work at Friesa Nichols. You also teach at Penn State. And I was trying to do a little bit of digging around, and I've realized there's another Brian King at Penn State. So
there is, yeah.
Well, so you do that. You also volunteer with, you're a geo mentor with American Association of Geographers. So you're doing a lot. You mentioned earlier that learning is a big thing for you, and you're doing a lot of teaching. So you're hammering this learning thing down. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing at Penn State and then what you're doing as a geo mentor?
Well, I got my master's officially, I think, in 2013 from Penn State, and I really wanted to get into teaching at some point, or to be honest with you, if I thought I could make a living teaching elementary school or high school and do what I do, and I'd love to do that with kids. So teaching's always been something I've been fond of. I guess I'm an assistant instructor at Penn State. I'm an actual employee. They help the main professor help teach the class and grade the assignments. And so for me, it's how I continuously improve. So, my continuous improvement goal for myself is this is how I do it. It keeps me networking with folks, students all over the world. It allows me to stay relevant on some of the hot topics that I want to do. So this is how I learn afterwards, a portion of it. So a lot of the classes that I've taught or assistant taught with was Python and programming. I think I did that automation, I don't know, maybe 4 times. But the one I typically go in on is the cloud computing and server, web mapping, data collector apps, and things like that. So I build those all the time for work, and that's really a ever-evolving thing as well that across the industry and everywhere else. So I enjoy it, and it allows me to just keep on learning, and it pays a little bit. So, but it takes up a little bit of time, but it's definitely been fun. So I enjoy that. And then, what was your other one? Was it the Penn State and
being a geo mentor with American Association of Geographers?
Yeah, I signed up for the Geo Mentor, and that one I could probably be doing a better job on. I've tried to reach out to different teachers in the organization, so I'm still looking to get plugged in with someone to do the K through 12 models. Like I said, I love working with kids, and I'm always up at my daughter's elementary school, and I go up for career day and things like that. So Geo Mentor is something that I'm trying to get in, so when she's in middle school next year and high school, that I'll be able to be the expert that can work with some of the teachers to implement some of these modules. So that was kind of why I got into that. And we've recently talked as URISA Texas to maybe try to do something similar and embrace some of this Geo Mentor and the Esri and bring in some kids. So we've definitely been talking about some of that, how to angle that better.
Yeah, I know the few discussions that we've had, we've just been trying to figure out like how the logistics work and just how to get into schools in the first place, and it's definitely not as straightforward as one would think.
It's not. And so I guess I've reached out a number of times to different professors and teachers at these schools, and sometimes you think, oh, this is a no-brainer. You can get it implemented. Esri is going to give ArcGIS Online for free with free credits and give you all the modules, but sometimes it just doesn't go into the plan So you actually got to really work at trying to convince a principal or a teacher to implement it, because they're really hammered hard to be focused on a lot of these tests and STAR tests. So it's been a little difficult trying to crack into that because of how much they force the testing and preparing for the test. They don't have a lot of time to bring in something new into their lesson plan. So we're gonna keep working at it. We'll do something so we can get the K through 12 involved with URISA Texas, maybe on a platform or something. But that's a goal of mine, is to definitely work with K through 12.
Yeah, and you just don't realize how much structure there is already in the school system as it is. So people will talk about bringing in these cool programs, or you'll hear about these success stories, and you don't realize how much work it actually is to do that stuff. You think like, oh, okay, we'll start doing this. And no, there's so much bureaucracy and trying to fit it in and trying to get all that stuff organized and figured out and talking with different parties. And there's so much that goes into it. It's unimaginable sometimes.
Oh yeah. I think that the geo mentoring program, I'm seeing it be adopted more in the high school type areas, maybe with some of it sure would be fun to get it into elementary, because I think that learning about maps, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing the career day. And so they all come in and, I'll show them GIS and the tablet and the mobile apps and things like that. So it's fun to see their eyes pop open, but that's just me. I enjoy that part of it. So I think career day is something everybody should get involved with, and it's just a good feeling. Plus, you get to help mold young minds.
Yeah, and I think especially when you're that young, you're very impressionable. I remember as a kid, I used to make maps for fun, not realizing you could do this as an actual job. So whenever someone would ask me, oh, what do I want to do when I grew up, I would give some strange answer. Map making or GIS was never an option because I didn't even know you could do that. So
yeah,
teaching it to kids when they're young is amazing because you just don't know about it until it's almost too late.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I was saying as a young professional, I mean, you just give back, get involved. Like I said, and Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, it's huge around here, and I mean, I guess everywhere. But you could do simple maps, but all that stuff leads into building your portfolio. Like I said, get the GISP portfolio down, use it as a roadmap so when you've got your 4 years of working in the real world, or the workforce, or however you want to say it, you get 4 years of time, and you got that checked off the portfolio. You'll have the contributions to the field of GIS, which is often some of the harder ones to get because people don't think about it until the last minute. So, but if you're volunteering, you've already got that box checked.
I'll say that was a huge reason why I first joined URISA, because I didn't know how to get that volunteer experience. I was trying to figure out who can I volunteer for, who can I do some GIS for, and when I finally learned about URISA, that was easy. It's like, okay, let's get involved here. They're going to have the connections, and I could never have imagined what I would have contributed to before I had joined URISA or URISA Texas. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's a shameless plug here, but it's a great thing to get involved with. And it doesn't have to be URISA. It could be any organization, but a GIS or geospatial organization, I think, is probably a good step if that's what we're trying to do, because it's going to push you in the direction you need to go.
Well, if it feeds your ambition and feeds your desire to learn and what you're wanting to do and how you want to grow as a professional, then go for it. URISA Texas is great. There's wonderful folks that work with SCOG, and there's other ones. So it's just, find your passion, and if it feeds that passion, go for it. But definitely get involved. Definitely do your LinkedIn, and take your free classes from Esri. Take some of these QGIS classes as well. Don't just jump into Esri products. A lot of them, it's the flagship software most people use, but dive into your open source and make sure you understand it. Download QGIS and play around with it. Bring in some raster imagery. I mean, so you can at least say you've used it, and you can have a discussion, or at least hold a discussion about it. And so, when it comes time for your interview, you can be able to have some talking points. But Esri will have those. How do you say it? Is it it's the MOOC?
The MOOCs.
The MOOC.
Yeah.
And
Massive
so,
open online course, I believe.
by all means, take those classes. Just set it up. Take it. Take your certificates. If you have the resources available to you in school with ArcGIS Online, and you have access to the Esri Virtual Campus, oh my goodness, you should be taking every single class you possibly can and get your certificate and put it on your resume. And what that tells me, if I see something that shows that they're learning, they're thinking out of the box, and they're learning wherever they possibly can. Again, I always look for the right person. Most of them, when you hit the engineering firm, like where I'm at, is you can train them to do, and you're going to end up training them and showing them what you can do anyway. So you just want the right person. So but any learning opportunity, just build your resume. And it doesn't, like I said, you put on there, did map for the Girl Scouts, and you'll help do a trail map and things like that. So all of it helps, and it's just the littlest things too. So and go to the conferences if you can afford it, and go up and shake people's hands and say hello. Don't be shy.
Yeah, and especially with the local conferences, like they'll usually have like a student rate. So if you're a student, try to get in there as much as you can. It's gonna do nothing but help you. You're never gonna lose from attending this stuff and meeting people.
Yeah, I've had people call me. I might regret saying this now, but I mean, I've had people call me and say, "Hey, I've got this person. Would you be open to go to lunch with us and talk to them?" And I was like, "Absolutely, sure." I can't do it all the time. I mean, everybody's busy, but don't be afraid to ask somebody, is what I'm saying. I mean, if you think highly of a person and you keep hearing their name and you're wanting to meet them, just write them an email and say hi. I mean, the one person that I've been trying to get as a retired professor from UT and water resources, and he just couldn't do it. But we exchanged so many emails just when I asked him to do the speaker series. But he gave me and pointed me the right direction for someone else to do the same topic, and hit out of the park. But you'd be amazed on how open and nice people are. So, and Ali, as you're building this and helping with the speaker series, I mean, I think you're finding that out. Just people are nice.
Yeah, and I think another key thing is to like actually get to know the person. I've had actually a couple times now people will add me on LinkedIn and then just immediately ask for a recommendation, and I'm like, well, I don't know you. I can't give a recommendation. So it's not just connect with the person, but actually like you said, go talk to them, go have lunch with them, get to know them, because I can't give a recommendation on somebody I don't know, and somebody else can't give you a recommendation if they don't know you.
Well, that's
so I think that's important.
That's very true. And I mean, or you could do it virtually, do a Skype call, do a Zoom call. There's what's the Google Go? There's a
Google Chat or
Google Chat. There's
Hangout? I think it's Google Hangout.
I think you're right there. I mean, so there's all these free things available to you, but that you could do this stuff virtually. I know at Penn State that we have done these networking sessions in the evening where past alumni and professionals will be asked to sit, and it's all virtual. So I can sit on my back porch here, and I just log in, and you sit in the chat room. I do, and basically somebody pops into a chat room, and it's timed for 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and you chat away, and they ask you questions like this, and you talk to them, and then when their time's up, they get kicked out. Someone else comes on in, and so it's a great way for networking, and we've talked about
sounds like speed dating for GIS.
That's exactly what it is, but you can exchange numbers, and if they say, hey, I'm looking for a job here, you can help direct them in the right. So it's just networking, and we have talked about doing something like that with URISA Texas, and I think it'd be a fantastic thing. We just got to figure out the logistics on the whole thing. Some people still want to do it face to face, but I think we would have a great turnout if we tried one virtually, and I think it would go over well. But
Yeah, especially with how big the state is. I mean, we try to spread out, but the reality is Texas is massive, and like we've got the centers where we've been able to do in-person stuff and just trying to grow out the rest of the state. I know we've had people from like Midland and Panhandle try to just like, hey, we're out here too. We're like, yes, okay, we'd love to get out there, and just it's trying to grow the volunteers because like I'm based in DFW, you're based in the Austin area. It's hard for us to get out there. So trying to
yeah,
get the volunteers in those areas so we can run the events there. So if you're listening out there, give us a call because we'd love to get stuff out there in your areas.
oh yeah, no, no. I think out in that area with Lubbock, Midland, and the Panhandle, and they've got such a presence and really, really high quality professionals out there that I know a bunch of them. So we really need to get out there and try to push it and market that. But we're trying to grow all over the place. It's pretty wild. To, California's in a similar boat. They have maybe 4 different type chapters, 4 or 5, but
Yeah, they've got several chapters for just the one state, which is
yeah, and
kind of
they're
crazy.
all separate chapters. So we're definitely the biggest state with a single state chapter. We won chapter of the year in 2017, which was pretty fantastic. We're looking to duplicate that very soon. At least we're moving that direction on our board members' roadmap for URISA Texas. But yeah, we would definitely want to grow it. So, and I think we're doing a really good job in the last year to be able to make that big push where you don't get it started and it fall apart. So I think we have the solid feet under us right now that we can start growing out here in these different regions, and I'm excited to see it happen.
So another fun thing that you do is you've gotten into drones and using drones for
Yeah,
your work.
yeah, they at my job and what I've done over the years is I've never, fortunately, I don't think I could handle it if I was doing the exact same thing every single day, the exact same, land use or future land use map, even though it's good stuff. I like to learn. I like to keep doing all kinds of different things. And with that, I've done a lot of stuff in water resources design, a lot of field work. I've got, 15, 16 years of field work doing archeology and GPS and bathymetry surveys with a total station. And so I have all this technology and remote sensing. So everything that I've done, they've been trying to get a drone program going for about 4, 5, 6 years, and I think it was a scary thing. My company is very conservative on things, and then finally they just decided they wanted to do it right. I switched groups from the stormwater group that I was in for 8 years, and then I switched to business technology, more corporate role. They told me that I was the new head of the drone program, get it started, up and running, write the policy. I mean, from start to
Not
finish.
intimidating at all, but you're really good at starting new things. So
Yeah,
I'm sure you
yeah,
had a good base you knew how to find that information and how to go
yeah,
do it, even if you
yeah.
didn't know how to do the exact thing.
And they, they knew I was highly involved with URISA Texas, and my company's always been very supportive of URISA Texas. They've let me use their facilities. They've given money for food for us at workshops, and they've been very supportive of me. They actually gave me an award in 2017, I believe, 18, one of those years. I won there's 4 main awards at the company, and it was the professional services award for the year out of
Very
800
well
some odd people.
deserved.
So they really recognize and support what I'm doing and what I've done or my portion given to URISA Texas. And so gave me the drone program and said, here, get this going, because they know I can write, and we had to have a policy, we had to have procedures. And to be honest, there's some people that still, they just hate to write. And I don't know, fortunately I've written hundreds and hundreds of different papers, and I give presentations all the time. So at any rate, I said, okay, basically I head of the drone program. We started out, we had one drone, and now we have 7 drones. We have a survey grade GPS. I've had to get my pilot's license, and starting it from the ground up has been another daunting task because the policy, the first 6 months of last year was just nothing but research and writing and making sure you do it right. Because at my company, one of our mottos is, we want to be the advisor of choice to our clients, and we want to be where they have a problem, they come to us because they know they're going to get a solution. But we do things right. And so some people might do it one way. We make sure we do it right. So the policy was written, and then I had to get pilots across the company because we have offices all over Texas, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana. So we're growing at a rapid pace. So I have to get pilots in these areas. So put together a pilot training program. But we're flying
And
missions.
are you recruiting people as specifically as drone pilots, or are you taking current employees and training them to be a drone pilot?
At present, we're just doing current trainees. Current employees, and that are interested. We talk to their managers, group managers, and see if they have some capacity to contribute to this. Everybody's really excited about the technology. They want to get involved with it. So yeah, it's been pretty good. A lot of people overthink the test because you have to take your FAA 107 exam.
Definitely.
I overthought it when I took my test, but I did it because as the leader of the program, I needed to know everything. I needed to make sure I had a grasp on all of it.
Well, and there's so many administration stuff that you have to know for that test. It's not just, hey, how to read an aerial chart, how to fly the drone. It's like, hey, what are the rules? What are the FAA rules? There's a lot of that stuff, and it's kind of boring, but you have to know it.
You do, and you're absolutely right. So, I compiled the study guides. We joined Drone U. They have a lot of podcasts. You can watch them on YouTube. You can watch a lot of their stuff for free, but we went ahead and got a subscription. They have all kinds of training videos, and I think I ended up getting the app Remote Pilot. It was like $4.99, and I ended up studying a plane flight to Georgia and back, and I sat there on the plane and just took test after test, and it just sinks in over. Yeah. So I got my pilots trained up geographically in different regions, and we're flying missions for engineering projects. I'm not interested in winning straight drone services for what we're doing. Maybe that'll come. Being able to provide stuff for the engineers to win projects or enhance projects. It's an innovative approach, and it's been a lot of fun. I've had to learn a lot of new software because using a survey grade drone, everybody wants to use it because you're getting between 1 to 3 centimeters of vertical accuracy, which is insane.
That's
with photogrammetry.
Crazy accurate, yeah.
But you have to be able to plan the mission right, and you got to conduct things a certain way to achieve that goal. And so everybody wants to do it, but I had to learn it and then teach it back out. And the right software, there's a lot of software out there. So what do you use? So I had to vet a lot of that. I settled on Pix4D. Pix4D, if you actually take a hard look at it, the Pix4D engine is the underlying engine for most all of them, from, I believe, 3DR, I think Esri's Drone to Map, it's behind that as well. So everybody uses it. It's in their engine to help process. But we went with Pix4D. I've got Drone to Map as well. And then now I process most of that stuff in the cloud. At first I didn't, so I learned the desktop in and out, and now we push it up to the cloud, and its deliverable's been pretty fantastic. So it's been a lot of fun, but it's definitely been taxing, and it's taken a lot of time. But now that it's going, everybody's excited. Now I gotta keep control over them. I'm like, all right, we got to keep this under one umbrella, guys. Let's ladies. But,
takes a lot of energy to get that momentum going, but once you got it, then it just kind of fuels itself.
But you got to keep control on it, because you gotta do certain things right, from documenting your missions and make sure you have all that recorded in case the FAA comes in. So there's so many little things that you just got to take care of instead of just going out and flying it and taking some pictures. wish it was that simple, but it looks that simple, but and that's the key. So, but
Well,
it's been
Brian, this
fun.
has been an amazing conversation here. I think you've got a lot of stuff that you've been able to share with everybody. I just want to thank you again for giving us your time on this Sunday and just all the time you've actually put into URISA Texas. I mean, that's been amazing that you got that started, and we're all involved in that, and we're just keeping it going. And just thank you so much for getting that, and thanks for chatting with me today.
Okay. All right. Well, I sure do appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
Okay. Bye.